Hey there, everyone. It's your good old Christian over here. Now, what you're about to listen to is this really spoiler version of Escape from Tomorrow. Now, what's different about this version and the particular spoiler-free version? Well, you're not gonna get those little funny censor things that I put throughout the spoiler-free section, so that's a bit sad. But hey, you know what? At least you get to listen to the spoiler version of this particular review of Escape from Tomorrow. And this is more in case for newcomers who just like, oh, spoiler review of Escape from Tomorrow. Yeah, I'm gonna listen to that. Well, be forewarned, we gonna sound a little, not just a little weird, a very, very weird throughout the whole review. Technical fuck ups. It's gonna happen, and you're gonna sound like we're in a fucking submarine. But again, I hope you do enjoy this little review, and yeah, hopefully this won't happen again. Damn you, pass me. Damn you. But again, I hope you enjoy.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dr. Netflix. I'm your host, Reginald Alonso, with me, my other host, the beautiful Elisa.
Hello, everybody. So today we're reviewing the movie called Escape from Tomorrow, which has become kind of popular or infamous, I guess you could say,
It's either one.
because it's shot inside of Disney.
Now, not like, they went in, the outside of park and just go like, oh, look, it's Disney, and just keep fucking seeing back and forth. They literally went inside, and Disney actually filmed the whole thing with, handhelds. That's what I'm guessing.
And without Disney even knowing about it, because why would Disney ever let them shoot such a disturbing movie inside their park when Disney is supposed to be a magical, innocent place full of happiness and goodness?
I guess in a movie.
That's what the commercials say.
So yeah, let's start with the plot. Now, the entire plot is centered around a family that are probably going to Disney. The husband found out that he got fired from his job, and he didn't tell his family about it. Trying to have like a natural good time in Disney. Then he started to see some weird shit, and more. The film is pretty much telling us that like he's kind of losing his mind, and we don't exactly know what exactly is actually happening of how this is going on.
We don't know what's real or what's his imagination.
Or what actually is going on. Is it an actual flu, like an actual virus going on? Or is it like somehow Disney's, it really is like this evil place where it just makes people blind? Or did he got decapitated and like they go inside his entire mind? Or he just some kind of weird out of our experiment that's go horribly wrong? We don't know exactly what the fuck is going on.
Personally, I don't get this movie. I feel like I missed a whole hell of a lot because this movie just confuses the shit out of me. And I guess that's why I didn't like it. Because I was thinking it's gonna be a horror movie, and if you're expecting that, don't. Because it's not a horror movie.
I would say it's more like a kind of trippy, psychological horror.
I wouldn't really call it a horror movie. To me, that's not a horror movie. It's not even a thriller. It's just weird. I don't know what genre you would put this movie in, but I honestly think horror is not one of that. Not in the classical sense, where it has to do with death. And like, I just feel like this movie, it has so many unconnected things where I feel like there's something going on underneath the surface, and this movie's trying to tell us something, but I can't quite figure it out, and I can't find anything on the internet about it. So I'm just gonna leave it as it's all unconnected and it's all irrelevant. Just weird shit.
I guess it's more of a taste kind of thing because I really enjoyed the movie. I thought like, wow, this actually is pretty damn good. It's pretty damn fucked up, but it's pretty damn good.
I don't like any movie that I can't understand. That's number one. Number two, if I go into the movie expecting it to be a certain kind of movie, like I thought he was gonna go ape shit and he was gonna attack people or go on a murdering spree, and it wasn't that at all. And there was death in the film, but I can't even say if it was like real death. It was just very weird. Like I don't know.
I guess the more is it a matter of interpretation of what's actually going on. That's how I kind of felt like throughout the whole movie. It's what is exactly is going on exactly. the movie doesn't really tell you right off. I actually do have a thing of what actually is going on, but I don't want to say in front of the mic. Are you sure?
I want to hear your interpretation, yes, because I feel completely lost on it, and I would like to hear what someone else thinks is going on.
Okay. Sorry, people got put a very loud beep at the moment. Okay. What I think is actually going on. You know that one part when, like, during that whole beginning of where you see, like, oh, they're on, I forgot that ride. Uh, I forgot the hell it's called, but it's the one, like, train ride that's going on. It's like the beginning of the movie. And you see, like, out of nowhere, decapitation out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And they keep on saying, like, like, it's settled, but, like, they say decapitation going on. I say, you know what? I'll bet you anything that would actually happen. We've seen, there's a reason why it doesn't make as much sense of what's going on throughout the whole movie, is we're seeing through everything that's going to this decapitated head. That's not what I think is actually really going on, because none of it actually makes any sense. And I say, you know what? It makes sense of the fact that what actually is going on. The fact it's we see the viewpoint of a decapitated head.
Okay, I like that theory a lot more, because that would really be the only thing that makes sense, because there are a lot of things that are in the movie that don't really connect, and like really what you're seeing is the mind of the main character.
Well, and also some of his family too, because
you don't really see their point of view. Yeah, you don't really see their point of view. I don't know, like, and to me, it's just like, I guess there were too many things in the movie that were just kind of creepy and disturbing. And in the movie, you see that the daughter is attached to the dad, and the son is attached to the mom. And the son seems attached to the mom in more of like a creepy way.
And the Oedipus concept.
Exactly. Like, you see it from the very beginning, where, like, in the beginning, he locks the dad outside on the balcony, and then goes and cuddles up with the mom. And, like, from that point, you see maybe there isn't something right with this boy. And then, like, throughout the film, you kind of see how he's attached to the mom, and it was just so many things. And then the dad, him following around two very young girls, like he's obsessed with them. That was also very creepy. You know, like, I get the whole, like, his wife snubbing him and not really interested in him in that way anymore, but at least be tempted by somebody around your age, maybe a little bit younger, but not a little girl with braces.
See, that's what I was thinking. Like, when I saw those two girls, I'm like, well, she has to be 18. I mean, it has to be that kind of sense, because, I mean, there are those girls that do have braces. I mean, at the same time,
grown people have braces.
But at the same time, like, it does feel pretty damn creepy. She could be 18, you know, for all we know. She's 16. I know. But, you know, I still enjoy the movie. I still really do like it. In a way, I do kind of see it as a horror movie, but I see more of it. The best way I can describe it is like an art horror movie. An art avant-garde, if you will, but, like, not to the full extreme. Not like for those fan of film. In fact, a good example of it, it's not like very heavy avant-garde where you see something example like David Lynch breaks ahead where it's that to the extreme. There are things that are very disconnected and whatnot, but it's not that full to the extent of you see something that breaks ahead, you're like, if you're like a normal person, you'd be like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. It's not kind of full extent. It's disconnected to a point, and I don't know, maybe that's the reason I kind of enjoy it, because it's the fact that this entire thing is going on, and maybe I kind of enjoy it the most.
I like to be baffled, but to a certain extent where I can put the pieces together at the end, not completely be mind fucked at the end, which was what happened to me when the movie ended, and then just throughout the whole movie, just feeling like I don't get it, what am I missing, and then waiting for the end to see what was really going on the whole time, and then that not happening at all, and then actually confusing you even more. It's like, there's only so much confusion I can take, you know? Like, it's okay if you make sense of things in the movie and then at the end you mind fuck me, but to mindfuck me the whole way, and even at the end, continue to mindfuck me. I didn't like it.
In a way, I can kind of see why. It's a very kind of tasting. Is it? I guess it's a certain kind of movie where if you kind of exposure to like an example would be like David Lynch kind of movies, the avant-garde, if you will, of art house movies or just art movies in general. And I put David Lynch in that kind of example because it's not like to that full extent of David Lynch. Like if I could put something to that, like Blue Velvet, where it's like David Lynch, where there is a never story to this, but there's still like a lot of like fucked up shit that's going on, and it's more to protect of the whole mind. And for those, I guess, even Lisa, who was looking at me kind of confused, like what does avant-garde means? A big example is the melting clocks, the famous picture, the melting clocks, where you see it as an art picture, and you can go full explicit, like what does it actually mean? Picture that as a full movie, like a full emotional movie, where that's pretty much it. There's no narrative to the entire structure of what actually is going on. You may say like maybe in some sense it kind of is, but at the same time it's not.
I get that, but I don't like that. Like, it's not my type of thing. You know, like you say all the time, to each their own, and this is just not my thing. These types of movies, I fucking hate these types of movies. Okay, this movie, it's very interesting. I love how they shot it at Disney, and I love how they did it without Disney's permission. You know, it's this whole taboo thing that they did. I just wish they would have done it a little bit differently, or, you know, like I feel like they could have. I just don't like the story they told, but I love what they did. I really do. Would I watch the movie again? Fuck no. If I would have known what it was about, or if I knew how the movie was going to play out, I probably would have not watched it. But I would watch a documentary about it. I would watch like the behind the scenes, or like how it was made. You know, I would definitely watch that.
Would you watch it with like an audio commentary? But like the director is kind of like you watch the movie, but at the same time you're having the director kind of telling like how each scene and like what they have to do and all the
Yes, yes, I would. And I would have found that more interesting than the actual movie. The movie itself, it was kind of uncomfortable to watch at certain points.
Yeah.
Because of how sick this guy was. And the movie itself had moments where it wasn't terribly interesting. It was kind of mundane, it was just them and Disney, like them having fun, him, following this person, or, fantasizing about titties and stuff like that. And it, like, there's this one part of the movie where he loses his little girl, he can't find her, and someone ends up, like, kidnapping him, and he ends up inside of the Epcot ball, and I didn't really get that part. Like, I feel like it was lost on me, and then, like, ended up very easily escaping the Epcot ball and the robot guy, by decapitating him. Prevalent theme right there, decapitation. He very easily ended up escaping by squirting some ointment, which they made seem like he was shooting his dick off. Basically, like, a lot of parts of the movie, it seemed like he was ejaculating, not literally, but the imagery itself in the movie was representative of, phallic symbols, ejaculation, all that stuff, which all represented his sexual frustration. And I got that. But I don't know, like, how relevant or how connected it even was to the whole movie. Like, that was a part of his being. That's who he was as a character, or the stage in his life where he's just really sexually frustrated. But I didn't get how it connected. It's just something that to me just seemed like unnecessary and just an excuse to put, cleavage and tits in there and ass. That's what it felt like to me, because even when he was in the Epcot ball, you see like
he did flat out say that looked like a giant testicle.
Well, that's when they were walking in the park, which he even said in front of his kids. But I just had a bit of an epiphany. Well, I don't know if you'd call it that, but maybe the Epcot ball was representative of his ball because you see, like once he like skeeted, hypothetically or no, not hypothetically, theoretically, metaphorically.
Yeah.
The way he metaphorically skeeted by squirting the lube all over, on the poster of
the woman.
Yeah, of the woman with like a thong on, and like on the keyboard or like the mainframe system, and like he killed that with his and like he basically just skeeted on everything, and like
hell, even the fucking thing is called Seaman.
Yeah.
Seaman.
Exactly. Yeah. That was people aren't getting it. We'll explain. Like basically, like a robot guy comes in and he said, "Well, we don't know he's a robot, but he looks like a scientist, and he's the main character. He's strapped to a chair, and the guy's telling him that they've been waiting a long time for him, and like he says a whole bunch of shit that doesn't make sense. And I'm sure if we like turned back the movie and watched it now, maybe it would make more sense. I think this is one of those movies you have to watch it a few times and then you'll pick up on more and more things and probably get it more. I personally don't have the patience for that because I don't think it was that great of a movie to try to really analyze it and piece it together. But from what I can piece together, that is a piece of the puzzle that, the guy, he says he's from Siemens, which is a corporation that supposedly sponsors some like rides in Disney, and that Disney doesn't know about them in the Epcot ball, but it probably is representative of what's inside of this main character, that he's just full of semen and he just has some sexual frustration that he needs to be or to have let out, but like I said, it kind of feels irrelevant to the film. It's like either that's what the whole movie was about, him being sexually frustrated, or it was about a lot more than that.
I think this is kind of a movie where I think kind of goes back to what I was kind of saying before, where a lot of things is disconnected, and this could be one of the things. Like it could be something towards that because it was there. Like you could see like him going after this young girl, and the fact like that one part of the scene and that shit, and him just chasing this teen girls. But at the same time, though, like I said, that's more of the one of the factors I think going on because there, you see like all these twisted images going throughout the whole movie. That too can be like represented in some kind of way.
I just feel like it was too prevalent, it was too dominant, it was too strong, it was like really there in your face, and it's like, what the fuck for? If they did it less or if they made it a little bit more, not subtle, but if they didn't just throw it in your face like that so often as if, no pun intended, or no sick joke. But yeah, if this movie was in 3D, a lot of people would probably be disgusted. Yeah, exactly. It felt like such a big part of the movie, and it was just like, it turned me off. I just felt, I wish the movie would have been about so much more than that, and it felt like that was the thing that popped out the most, and I wish it wasn't. I wish there were other things that would have popped out the most. One of the themes that seemed to be in there is, how Disney is seen as a magical place, but it's not really, and they kind of show how Disney covers things up, I guess you could say, and pretend like nothing happens and everybody's walking around like dumbasses enjoying the beautiful day as if nothing's wrong. And I wish that would have been stronger. I wish that would have been more in our face.
I think I caught that too. It did feel like it was there, but at the same time, you were right. Like the other thing was shove into our face.
No one likes a dick shoved in them. But seriously, like I wish that wasn't so pronounced. I wish, the other themes of corruptness and, this movie could have been so rich.
Or maybe the movie's trying to tell us about something. Maybe, I guess maybe we just kind of focus more on that, not focus on everything else that's going on.
I don't think so. because that's, I'm not a guy, so that's not something I would focus on naturally. It would really have to be something that's thrown in my face like that for me to have like really noticed it. Like this is a big part of the movie, and I so wish it wasn't. Really, I wish it wasn't. I guess like if I want to be positive about it, or if I want to give the movie any type of credit and be nice, I'll say maybe they did it because they were showing how, Disney, when you walk into Disney, it doesn't make you a kid again. You're still a nasty old middle-aged man that fantasizes about teenager no matter where you are. Maybe that's one of the things it's trying to say.
Well, hopefully the teenager, not like.
And you always want to have somebody to like in the film. And I didn't like the main character. I didn't like the wife. I didn't like the son.
Kind of like.
I liked the daughter, but I mostly felt bad for the daughter. And, me thinking this is going to be a horror movie and seeing her so attached to her father, who clearly has his issues.
But you see, like, somewhere. Spoiler alert. You kind of see at the end, and you say, he keep on chasing this fantasy girl throughout the whole most of the movie. And, when she said, like, come with us, he denies her. So, in some way.
Because he's scared. Maybe that's something. See, we're trying to find meaning, and I feel like it's more like you say, there is no goddamn meaning. It's meaningless.
No,
or it's whatever you want to make of it. But I refuse to sit here and I know we've probably already sit here long enough trying to do theory after theory, but seriously, it's like, trying to dig through a piece of crap to try to find a grain of salt, to try to find a little fucking flake of gold. This is what this is to me right now.
Damn.
Okay?
You're mad at this movie.
I'm not saying this movie's a piece of shit. I'm not.
No, you already said it. It's a piece of shit.
I'm not saying it's a piece of shit. I'm saying that it's a piece of shit to be searching and searching and searching for what's not there, trying to find meaning in the meaningless. I feel like the meaning should come naturally to you. Like, if you're going to get something out of the movie, you're going to get something out of the movie. But to sit there and, try to rack your brain, what does it all mean?
But I think that's one of the fun part. Like I said, it's an avant-garde kind of film. That's how I kind of feel throughout the movie. So, you know what? That's what I feel. It's feel like more of an art house, like an actual art movie than a narrative movie to that. That's what I kind of felt like through the whole movie. Like it's because those are kind of the films that kind of are like they do in fact do have a much deeper meaning to everything else. But at the same time, though, like you gotta find those deeper meanings within everything else that's kind of going on. Going back to David Lynch with Eraserhead or Mulholland Drive, either fucking one, is those kind of films that when you first watch them, they're fucking crazy. They're fucking out there. It's basically fucking Eraserhead where I want to say apparently this lady is pregnant. Oh, I guess they're gonna be married, and weird shit just keep on happening throughout the whole movie. Where you see this dude staring at this fucking like heater, but like they're respirator heaters, whatever those old school heaters. He's staring at it, and there's like a dancing lady with like fucking chickmunk's cheek up to the fucking extreme. He's seen the baby, and the fact his baby is so weird, and it could be the fact that the fetus, like maybe it's a premature kind of baby, because I would kind of look for something to that. This is what this kind of film, but like I said, it's not.
I feel like that's a little bit different though, because in the movie it doesn't really seem like he's illusion, like he's just seeing shit. Like there are parts where it does seem like he's just seeing shit, but most of it it's like really realistic, and it seems like he's actually living, and like you can see when he's.
But how are you sure it's realistic? How you know it's not him?
It is realistic. We don't know if it's real or if it's actually happening, and I guess they leave that up to us. But the scene that you were just talking about, that seemed like okay, he was fantasizing, and
But how are you sure it's actually his fantasizing?
No, I'm talking about what you were just talking about.
Oh, which hell am I talking?
That avant-garde movie, The Chipmunk.
Yeah, Eraser, yeah.
See, that, to me, and just from you telling me about it, it just seems like a natural father or to-be father's fears. That makes sense to me. It makes complete sense to me. Him seeing something so twisted and fucked up, because let's face it, if you're going to be a parent for the first time or even the second time, if your girl is pregnant and even the woman herself is going to be scared as fuck that something's going to be wrong with the baby, there's just this absolute fear about being a parent because we're so afraid for something to go wrong.
See, as much you think that's what's actually happening. Like I tell only one scene of it. I'm telling you, when you watch the movie, you're okay. Okay, that doesn't seem like you're angry at like Escape from Tomorrow, but if you watch fucking Eraser, your mind be like fucking blown out of fucking. If you watch it like 15 minutes, say take that fucking shit up. I can't stand this shit. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Stay tuned because there will be a review on this. Me and him, we're gonna test it out.
Well, I gotta buy the fucking movie. It's not on Netflix. It's one of the movies I do want to go.
Okay.
It's one of the movies I do want to go back and I rewatch it because sure, the first time I watched Eraserhead, God, I want to say I was around 17 or 16 at the time.
Well, we're gonna watch it and we're gonna see how I feel about it.
Maybe bring Mulholland Drive because that's in that kind of way. It's sort of the same thing.
No, I want to see the movie you're talking about. Anyway.
Oh yeah, we're talking about Escape from Tomorrow. Yeah, sure.
What else is there to say about this?
It's just we keep explaining it like so much, but we're just depicting random scenes at random events.
Well, that was the whole movie, wasn't it?
No, you see, okay, well, I think this is the best way to describe this. If you're someone, okay, I'm not saying because there's no such thing as a dumb person. Well, there are dumb people out there, but I think I guess, I kind of casual moviegoer. I think that's the best way to describe it. For the people who've seen, maybe 12 Years a Slave, or I'm trying to think on that fucking, or maybe it's something like Lincoln, or those type of movies. I generally like these. I'll probably not go back to see them, but I do generally like these movies.
Boring.
Or Mud, or The Bay, or something to that kind of extent to actually different. Or you are a smart person, you like these sort of movies. I do. I think Escape from Tomorrow is just as, and that's what kind of feel, but it is a kind of essential horror movie, but like it's not like a definition of what you think of horror. That's why I think it's more of an avant-garde kind of movie where
I think it's a disturbing movie.
And you know what? Sometimes what horror is, sometimes it is disturbing imagery. You can go back into like the silent movie era where something over the movie Nosferatu where they call it the character Oleg, but we all know it's fucking Dracula, where he's staring at this door where it's a giant door and you see this freakishly vampire thing coming to suck this person's blood out. And when we watch it, it's like but during that time, it's just this very shocking imagery, very kind of disturbing during that time.
So you're saying this movie would have been good in that time period?
No.
Not in this time period.
What I'm trying to get at is this. I think for casual movie horrors, where you probably watch X-Men Days of Future Past, and the next day you watch something like Mud or whatever. You will watch like those kind of movies. Where there's more narrative, I guess, more narrative to the plot, more not something so out there. Yeah, you say, all right, you like these kind of movies. This movie is with more though. I don't want to say the more fancy kind of movies. There's more people who I guess a little more out there. It takes a little more out there. If you want to watch something that's a lot more out there, this is a film for you where you can get that because that's what I got an enjoyment of it. Where I really did enjoy this movie. But I guess I enjoyed it to some certain, extent to it. I do like this movie a lot.
And I just want to say something because you made a good point. We're just picking random scenes and kind of talking about them. I do want to say this movie, it's a random movie, but everything has a kind of ebb and flow. Like, it's not like Family Guy, where it's like, remember the time, and then it goes off to like a completely different thing. It does go scene to scene smoothly. It's just sometimes you're like, why is this happening or what the fuck is going on. And when you see him going into his delusion, it's clear that he is going into his delusions. It's just at the end of the movie, you kind of feel like, what the fuck just happened? And it's like Chris said, that maybe, some of it was real, maybe some of it didn't really happen. Maybe it was just the point of view of a decapitated head. That's why all these crazy, nonsensical things were happening, but it did all flow together normally, like it was a real day, not just, all these events randomly happening. Or not randomly happening, but all these events happening out of order, or like they kind of come out of nowhere. They are random, but they do flow into the movie.
Okay. So you want to give our ratings?
Sure. I forgot what I was going to rate it.
Watch it during sex.
No. Oh yeah. I have a new rating on the scale.
What? Just blowing my mind here.
Watch it when you're fucking high. Watch it when you're on LSD. So at least when it doesn't make sense to you, you're still going to have a fucking good time watching it. Because sober, I sure as hell did not enjoy it.
So as sober, how would you rate it? It's a legitimate question. I'm just wondering. You give me like this look and like, you're serious? Yeah, I'm fucking serious.
That is my rating. My rating is that I wouldn't watch it sober. Like, I wouldn't want to watch it sober. And I guess you can call me a casual moviegoer. So if you're like me and you just kind of watch movies for entertainment and also maybe to think a little bit, but not think that hard where, my thing is, I kind of like things up to interpretation, but not to the extent that this movie did it, because I hate making shit up or making theories up, and that's not really what the filmmaker intended, because then I feel like I'm giving it more meaning than it really actually has, and it's kind of like making something famous because you misinterpreted it, or making something more meaningful and better than it actually is just because you're making it better in your mind from your psychological perspective. I don't like that shit. Because if it's good, it should be good on its own, not for you searching meaning and giving it a good meaning.
Now, I'm going to give it 2 ratings, but I'm going to give my own personal rating, so get 3 fucking ratings there. Okay, for the casual moviegoer, what I would put it on during when you're doing something. That's always you're having sex, because then you're just like, what the fuck is going on? Why is this happening?
So you're saying, like, watch it while playing Candy Crush, Angry Birds. What's the game you play?
I got Sonic Dash, game of I think it's called.
Okay, so watch it while playing games.
No. When play when you got new stuff. That's.
Then you'll be even more fucking lost. I guess it doesn't really matter anyway. It's still not.
But for those who want something a lot more different, for those who actually did watch David Lynch and have like a very full and rich experience with that movie. I'm trying to think, Lauren Ventura, whatever. Right now, I can think of David Lynch because that's in my mind at the moment. Just that's a good prime example. David Lynch movies, if you will. It's a kind of between of like it's the middle ground of like David Lynch where it's completely out there but you still can watch it. So it's that like I said, the middle ground of David Lynch. It's that kind of avant-garde where you can still watch it. There is a kind of point A to point B. Not really, I guess you can say. It's for those kind of avant-garde kind of way to a certain extent. So I'll give it for those fucking people. I'll give it watch it ASAP. And that's what I felt watching ASAP. I do really enjoy the movie, but I think I do have some kind of like some things here and there where it's like some, I guess you could say negatives to it. Like
we didn't discuss that, so let's discuss it. Even though we already gave our rating.
Well, I think that you kind of point out most of the thing to me. I guess just kind of made it like they kind of leave some points out of it. It's some of the acting for me. That's like I felt like it felt like kind of wooden at times, or they didn't give them, I guess, a certain delivery, like at some points. That's like I think it's more to that. It's not so much where like we see the green screen right in fucking front of them. It's like like I get it.
Yeah, that didn't bother me, and especially when you know the background of it, that they're like sneaking into Disney World to do this movie, you get it, and it's completely acceptable. And you really applaud them for filming as much as they could in there, and that was really awesome. So no complaints on the quality, because for what they probably had to go through to be able to do this movie in Disney, they did a phenomenal job.
Like I know for a fact there is pretty much that kind of loophole where well, say we can actually have a big film company or whatever, but they didn't say we can actually go in there and do a family thing, and some of the shots and also where they have to act when they actually in Disney. That's something so astonishing. I have to say, it's wow, you really got to get these shots, and God knows how many fucking times you got to be in there. I mean, let alone the fact, okay, that alone, it just blows my fucking mind. Where, okay, a Disney ticket, how much? Let's say for one park, it must have cost what, fucking.
Well, I'm sure what they did, they probably got a family package, and they probably also did the Disney, you can pay for a ticket to be able to go park jumping or park hopping, or you can go from park to park in the same day.
That part I do get, but obviously the fact they had to stay literally in a Disney hotel. That was they actually were in a Disney hotel. There's no doubt about it. I'm damn, or maybe, or I don't know, maybe it looked like a Disney hotel to me. But seriously, even some of the other shots where it did feel like they had to actually sneak in to go around and record when the whole park is just fucking closed.
Yeah, and if you think about it, it wasn't even just the mom, dad, and the two kids. It was also the side characters, which there were, I guess you could say in total,
10.
Yeah.
At the most 10 characters. But let's say, just.
But that's still extra people that you have to bring in. And probably somebody filming as well.
Oh, they may have maybe 5 or 6 people just do all that fucking filming.
So you can totally forgive, knowing that they probably weren't on a huge budget. You can understand that a lot of the budget probably went to that. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they did it all in one day.
I would be fucking surprised.
I think so. I wouldn't be surprised if they did it in 1 or 2 trips, because that's a lot of money. And they probably knew that, and they probably knew, okay, we can only go this amount of times, so we have to get it done. And they probably just worked with what they had. And that's why I would love to see some type of behind the scenes, some type of documentary, just to know what the fuck went on and how many times they actually did go, because they had to have been limited in some way that they couldn't go, past a certain amount of times, and they just had to do what they had to do. And it wouldn't be surprising to me if they had to cut a lot of shit out, maybe some scenes that they wanted to do that they weren't able to do, some things that they wanted to put in there, and this is just my imagination running wild, but maybe they changed the story around because of what they had. There are endless possibilities, but that's what I'm saying. I would love to see it behind.
Me too.
Or a commentary.
Either one. Because I said, it's so fascinating. Even the one scene where they have to have the girl just kind of walking by and do whatever, and you see I'm thinking to myself how many fucking times they had to actually do acting around that. How many times they had to go walking around.
And I have to say, there is another part, or did you notice there was a part where they have the Disney princesses, and they're very bad Disney princesses, because it's supposed to be Ariel, Cinderella, and I forgot who the other one was.
Snow White.
Okay, but the costumes, they weren't to a T, they weren't really good. And obviously, that's not what an actual Disney princess would look like. But you forgive that because they're part of the movie, because obviously they do some shady shit that a real Disney princess wouldn't actually do. So they're actresses for the movie. And do you think they were actually in the park for that? I don't think so. Yeah, they couldn't have been.
Yeah, because
you wouldn't be able to sneak a costume in there. They don't do costumes in there.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Where you can't exactly dress to a Disney character.
But they weren't even dressed like Disney characters, and I think they were very careful about not getting a lawsuit.
I think it has to be. I do want to see some kind of cut, but at the same time, though, it's I wonder how full extent they had to kind of go. You know what I mean? Like the fact, like they were so careful. Like everything could show all the Disney images. They could show the rides, but the fact, like there is one part. It's in like the Buzz Lightyear ride. I don't want to like to actually, but the fact you didn't exactly see Buzz Lightyear. They kind of like they did in a way like it's Buzz Lightyear. You can tell it's Buzz Lightyear, but
You can't see it clearly.
no, it's just the base part. I can't exactly where it exactly is, but it's there, and the fact like, oh, that's Buzz Lightyear, but somehow the face is not exactly there. Like, is that whole thing where like, okay, so what is their extent they had to, I guess, kind of cut out whateverness because they took out the word Disney. It's so plain and simple, like you can actually tell they when they said Disney, went beep on Disney.
Right, because if Disney or when Disney found out about this movie, they could have squashed this movie. And they're so rich that this movie would have never seen the day of light if it were up to them.
It has like I think a Blu-ray release, a DVD release. In fact, on
That's
Netflix.
probably because they were so damn careful about it.
Yeah.
That Disney had their hands tied and they couldn't do anything. But if they found something that they really could have, sued them over, this movie would have never seen the day of light. And that's the truth. So I applaud them for being, because you have to realize how careful these people must have been to really follow the rules and at the same time not really follow the rules to be able to do all that. And that's what makes not the movie itself amazing, but
just
the making of the movie amazing.
I still find the movie pretty amazing. Like I said, I give the rating to kind of get back to everything else of that tiny little negative I have.
Do you have any other negatives?
That's the only thing I think of where they kind of touch it a bit, just kind of down. Just the fact that acting for me it didn't really sell to it, but I still enjoyed the movie. Just for the whole thing. In fact, I guess just because I guess I kind of like have myself exposed to the more kind of avant-garde kind of films where there's some folks here like, it's all fucking bullshit. Or some folks are like, oh, I do enjoy this. It's one of those films I can say, I actually do enjoy this. I don't feel dumb and saying it. It's like, I do really dig this hell of this movie. I did enjoy it. I don't see myself going back to it right away. But, maybe I feel like, kind of popping something in or kind of trying to my friends like, hey, let's watch that Disney. Let's watch that one movie that's about Disney, but not exactly about this. And I think that's about it. I think that should do.
I agree.
Like I said.
And let's never speak of this again.
Well, till then,
see you next time.
Whoa, that's copyrighted. See, I'm trying to think of something clever, but or some kind of fact about Disney, or some something about Disney, but I don't know. Would we get copyrighted?
Didn't we already show?
Peace. Good night. Oh, fuck! I totally forgot. Well, at the moment, it's not going to be on SoundCloud until I made some, I guess, a bit kind of more money. Please subscribe, click on those ads and whatnot. Cough, cough, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah, that too. But I gotta say, hopefully you enjoy us. You can always follow me on Twitter at GLChris24, where I either say fuck YouTube, I can say fuck YouTube. What else? Or where I just say, I'm on a train station listening to either oneofus.net or Rage Select, wherever I feel like it. Feel like you might see like, thank you, Florida, for this horrible weather. Or you can follow me on Facebook. Should be there, I think, yeah. And also watch some of the other reviews that's going on, like their vlogs or movie reviews, or listen to some more Dr. Netflix. Hell, if you want to listen to some that CSM, should it follow you on anywhere?
No. I'm a phantom. I don't exist.
You don't? No. So what you're saying is all
in your decapitated head's mine.
Or maybe a hand captain. Or maybe I'm a robot. Secret agent. That part of myself I'm not sure about. Till then, good night, and when you wish upon a day
See, it's a small world after all